I am the director of Doctor Who The Soldier Stories, and I tell you, sir...
It's like, what if he had like a really deep, sultry laugh? Like that's the only thing he has.
We actually have the tools to make an extremely high-quality fan rendition of a script in the Doctor Who universe. Ethan, what I'm a little curious about is, was there any point where you're looking at it and you got your 2-page treatment, working out maybe the logistics or maybe the long plot arc for it, at least through the first season, if not through, I think you said you had 3 seasons charted out? Yeah. At what point did you sit there, was there a go, no-go point for you somewhere? It's like, there's no freaking way I'm going to do this. It's just not going to work out, or...
When I wrote the scene for the Weeping Angel, which you'll see, I wrote that wondering how we were going to do that. I had no idea how we were going to create the Weeping Angel, and then Tate came on, and it was just one of those things where it was like, well, we're good. Go team us now. And that's been kind of the whole genesis of this thing. It's just, we come up with crazy idea after crazy idea, and somehow it just comes together. Well, actually, I know how it comes together. It's a lot of hard work, a lot of passionate people just devoting themselves to this idea that Corey and I had.
Because we have a philosophy on our team, which is don't tell me how I can't do it, tell me how I can, and what we need to do that. So like, and he goes, I can't tell you what it comes. I was like, hey, Ethan, we should do this thing, and he's like, how?
Talking about assembling the cast, because when you're putting a cast together for this, it's not just people who can actually act well, but it's people who can say Gallifreyan, Cyberman, and actually just have it roll off. It's not just somebody who can come on off the street or whatever as an actor and be able to work in this kind of environment.
Actually, it's weird. You would think that so what we did was we wanted every aspect of this to be as good as it possibly could. The only way to make something serious is if you take it seriously yourself. So we actually held auditions, and the majority of the cast, you know, was familiar. Most of them were familiar with Doctor Who, but like Jamie Harris, the lead actress, like had never seen Doctor Who before. Because what we were looking for is more or less like, can they commit to the project, and do they have the talent to back it up? And so we held auditions. We had about 100 people in the initial auditions the first 2 days. And like the Soldier, even though I wrote the Soldier, I still had to audition. I was actually not a part of the casting process for the Soldier. I made the rule that I was not allowed to cast the Soldier because we want, even as much as I was emotionally attached to the character, and this was my character. This is more important than anything. I still wanted it to be the best person for the job, and that person necessarily wasn't going to be me, but mind you, I had a big edge because I wrote the character, so I knew exactly what he was supposed to sound like, how he was supposed to behave, and I practiced for, what, months?
About a month and a half.
I've been a professional actor for 5 years. I've never had to have coaching for an audition role, and I brought in coaching for an audition role, so.
There were 3 things going off of knowing about Doctor Who that really sold me the second time Corey pitched it to me, because little known fact, he pitched it to me the first time and I was like, no, I don't know. The second time he pitched it to me, he came to me with 3 core concepts. One, who the Soldier was, that he was an assassin for the High Council of Gallifrey. The second thing was the idea of the TARDIS and what it does, which is the coolest concept, which is he points a sonic screwdriver at any door, that becomes the door to his TARDIS. And that was like, awesome. And then the third thing is, he said, write it in such a way that non-Doctor Who fans will understand this story. It was less about it being Doctor Who and more about people like such as Jamie being excited for just what this story is and who the characters are.
Talk a little about when they were pitching the makeup for the Soldier Stories to you, and it wasn't really even a pitch. The conversation I heard was that it was just mentioned in passing the project. Talk a little bit about your involvement in getting on board with these cretins and how they roped you into making a Weeping Angel on a ridiculous budget in no time.
Well, it was a little unexpected. I heard about the project. My wife is a friend of Chris's, and she had mentioned to me that they had a really cool project going, and that I should somehow become a part of it. And I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to, if my schedule would allow. And And then Chris and I got on the phone, and it just turned out that, you know, the week that they were shooting, I was available. And he started talking to me about the Weeping Angel, and it sounded like a lot of fun, you know, doing something, doing something sort of out of the kit. You know, I didn't unfortunately have the time to prepare, which is something that I'm used to in my industry. You never really have, you know, even 5 minutes a lot of the times to prepare for a makeup. But you know, they're great guys, and the project sounded awesome. And obviously, these guys are extremely passionate. This guy, like, he can go on and on. He's definitely born to be a producer.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, they're extremely passionate bunch. The project seemed awesome. I came out, I went to their offices, met everyone, you know, got along with everyone famously, and next thing I know, I'm turning this actress into Weeping Angel, and you know, I thought it turned out pretty cool, and this is actually the first time I'm going to get to see the film, so I'm hopefully as excited as you guys are. But yeah, it was a great experience.
I've done crowdfunding campaigns before. They are incredibly brutal. Other than, and by the way, if you want to support this, and this is, you're only seeing the first segments, that first 20 so minutes of the first season of this. If you like what you see, I cannot stress this enough. Go to thesoldierstories.com. Chris, tell them what they could actually get as some of these stretch goals for funding this project.
Well, obviously you can get our love and appreciation, which is worth its weight in gold. But
I hear the one person over there laughing like, tell another joke.
Lori's the mean. So you can actually get on the show. Like, you can be on set. That's a big one. You can go to some of our debuts. You can get a date with Corey, the soldier. That's a really big one. And but also, like a Sonic screwdriver. If you like a Sonic, I personally think the Sonic that Corey built, actually made and invented, is my favorite Sonic now. Because it's trumped Matt Smith.
Well, his expense.
Oh, stop it.
Through the course of the production, and anybody can jump in on this, was there one point where you're looking at it going, it's part Hollywood, part my uncle has a barn, my dad has a bed sheet, let's put on a show? Because it has to, a fan production like that has to have elements of both. Because it's not just passion, it's not just 30 days on set, and this is why things cost $30 million. Was there one point for anybody, and jump in on this, where you're looking at it going, I don't know if I'm in Hollywood or in Biloxi, Mississippi, putting this thing together?
Yes. The psychiatrist scene was shot in a church, and I'm just killing somebody in a church, and we're having this whole Doctor Who moment, and I'm just looking around doing all these really sacrilegious things, and I'm like, I have no idea if I'm pro or sad. that would be mine when we got to shoot.
We're actually here. When you're composing music for a Doctor Who piece, and you don't have access to any of the Marie Gold cues, it has to be 100% original, but it still has to let the audience know that it's a Doctor Who atmospheric piece of music. What's your thought process on making that, where it's not just Marie Gold, but it's actually your music, making it happen in the process?
Right. Well, like I said yesterday, they said, all right, we want those 3 notes, that and that's really not enough to copyright, so that's safe. And I told them, okay, that's all I'm going to give you from Doctor Who. I'm not quoting anything else. And Murray Gold he's been on the project forever, and since it started back up, and he's got this sound, and it's something that I sound like generally with his chord structure. He's kind of got this wacky, twisted chord thing that he always does, and I like that. But the Doctor Who universe has this aura and this music of this magic and this mystery and this. Oh, it's space, and it's this madman with a box, and it's happy in the end. We always kill the monsters, and it'll be great. But this is, there's guns, and this is a character there's something wrong. We've got all kinds of problems going on in our story, and this isn't magical, but there is still a reverence of the mystery, and there's kind of an interstellar kind of feel for the TARDIS scene later on.